It's time to figure out if the Celtics are for real. They're one of the only teams we've ever seen rank in the top 2 of both offensive and defensive rating. Their net rating is also an all-timer, and they're on pace to win 63 games with a comfortable lead atop the Eastern Conference. What better way to figure out where they stand than to play the defending champs on the road, both teams fully healthy and rested. And it became a juxtaposition of playing styles so stark, it's almost like they're playing different sports on offense. The Nuggets attack is based on lots of player movement, passing, and cutting. To a coach, their offense gets you clapping for all the shots they generate using teamwork. On the other side, the Celtics prefer to spread the floor and let their individual talent run the show. This doesn't make their offense less effective, and certainly in the regular season, the Celtics' talent can overwhelm most teams by the third quarter. But when you go up against the best of the best, if your shot quality is considerably lower than your opponent, you'll certainly struggle. The most common action the Celtics run, and certainly the most effective, is simply spreading the floor and having Kristaps Porzingis set a ball screen. Both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are among the top 10 in pick and roll when paired with KP, and Jokic has to step up to prevent an easy 3 for Tatum, which allows Porzingis space to short roll for a wide-open 13-footer. Unclear why they're setting this curl screen for KP to start, since Tatum simply waits for the inside ball screen. Jokic calls for a switch, but gives Tatum so much room that it's an easy free throw line jumper. Again, 3 guys standing around while the Celtics put Michael Porter Jr. in the octagon, where he's a step late getting over to contest this deep 3 as Tatum rolls it around before dropping through. Now let's compare that to what Denver was doing in their half-court. Jokic feeds Gordon at the elbow and joins Murray to set a double pin down for Porter out of the corner. Porter has a choice to curl around the first screen, and Drew Holiday jumps out as if he's switching onto Porter, but somehow expects Derek White to then jump back to him as Gordon throws a beauty of a pass for the assist. Same play as Porter cuts underneath the first screen, and that triggers Jamal Murray coming off the Jokic pin down. If the pass is denied like Drew does here, then we get blind pig action from the triangle offense, as Jokic gets the pass and Murray cuts in behind the play for the handoff. He blows the inside hand finish, but this is as high quality of a shot as you're going to get. They run it to the other side, and the Celtics do a complicated switch. Horford picks up Porter, Brown switches to Murray, and White realizes he's on Jokic. Same blind pig action, but when White goes for the steal, it's over, and he has to foul to stop the hoop. This ruthless execution of a well-designed play is why the Nuggets generate so many great looks. Later in the second, they have Jokic as the first screener with Caldwell Pope playing out of the high post. I love how they invert positions all the time. Horford wants to take away the cut, but that leaves Jokic wide open, forcing Holiday to pick him up, but that leaves Reggie Jackson wide open in the lane. They miss it, so Jokic gets to show why his IQ is so high. He knows the Celtics switch off-ball screens out top, and with Tatum turned away from him, he can slip the screen and get an opening. He could have passed to one of the better shooters in the league for a wide-open corner 3, or just finger roll it in the basket. More contrasting style as the Celtics go 1-4 flat, then bring Xavier Tillman up to set a high ball screen with no movement. They loop Horford around to the left block with hopes that his man will help on the action and open him up for a layup. Instead, it's his man who's just standing there watching the play unfold and easily steps in for a steal that leads to a rare fast break score for the Nuggets. In the third, they again run something very stagnant. Tatum does ball screen before popping out to run the vaunted JT-KP pick and roll. Jokic steps up to the three-point line to dissuade the shot as Murray gets around. Tatum throws a dying quail, made all the more easy to steal because Aaron Gordon's man was parked for several seconds in the weak side corner. And out of that same horn set, Tatum throws a stinker of a bounce pass where it bounces way too far from KP and way too hard. Because of such little movement, KCP can easily break off from White and just steal the ball from them, going on an adventure to lay this one up and in. I can't get over how Jokic continually senses when a defender is coming up behind him to steal it, and at the exact right moment, snaps the ball to his teammate for a wide open shot in the corner. This good ball sense is exactly what you get with Manscaped and their new Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. If you want to get your balls into the basket, they've got to be well kept, and their dual-skin safe blade heads provide an unparalleled level of trimming from the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. While the trimmer blade features longer, wider, and rounded teeth that cuts through hair with ease, it's incredibly gentle on the skin. But here comes the real showstopper, the foil blade. Crafted to transcend the boundaries of your typical trim with the trimmer blade, this foil blade is designed to leave you with a finish that's irresistibly sleek and utterly bare. I love the bigger LED light that illuminates the hard-to-reach areas so they're ready for their close-up. The rechargeable weed whacker means you'll never have to leave the house with ear or nose hair sticking out, and because it's waterproof, cleaning is easy. Right now, with my code BBALL, I can get you 20% off your order and 2 free gifts. Some of the most comfortable boxers I've ever worn, and a travel bag to keep all your Manscaped products safe and handy. So use my code BBALL and I promise I'll show you some moments where the Celtics actually ran some coordinated sets, but the execution tended to be lacking. Here's a high post split where KP gets it at the elbow extended with his back to the basket while the passer goes to screen the weak side wing. KP gets impatient waiting for someone to cut. MPJ falls asleep for a second on Holiday before not listening to Jokic, who told him to switch onto Porzingis, and this did open up a slightly contested shot that doesn't go in. Here's some pinch posts out of the pure triangle offense as White hits Tatum and follows his pass to the corner. Meanwhile, Porzingis hits the pin down for Brown out of the corner. He has a step on Gordon and doesn't give up the advantage until he draws the shooting foul. Here's a horn set with both high post and corner positions filled. Because of the foolish steal attempt, the defense is broken down immediately as Jokic has to help on Brown. Reggie Jackson has to sink to Tillman, and it's an easy pass for Hauser, who's been lighting it up all season. Speaking of Hauser, when he's in and Brown is out, they've got some organized sets they'll run to get him open, like this double staggered pin down across the court. It forces Jokic to step up to contest, and watch how masterful Horford is under the hoop to clear his man out of the way while also bumping Murray and then commanding low position for the offensive rebound. This directly leads to the defensive scramble and mismatch down low that gets a nice lefty half hook by Tillman. But they revert to their base offense most of the time. 5-out spread pick and roll with shooters along the perimeter. If the defense allows middle penetration, which is where Holiday eventually gets to, it gives his pick of open shooters. However, if you watch Justin Holiday, there is simply no reason for him to get past the midline of the floor for help. Jokic is right there, and a 26-foot closeout is simply too far off a shooter like Hauser, and in the playoffs, you won't see defensive mistakes like this. What worries me the most is probably the Celtics' biggest strength, their isolations. They isolate the 4th most of any team, ranked 7th in efficiency, and I'm sure these types of shots go in a lot against the bottom half of the NBA. But when you're playing high-intensity playoff-like basketball against the very best teams, the more you rely on shots like this, the harder the road gets from one playoff round to the next. The Nuggets are 9th in defensive rating overall this year and have really ramped it up over the last 10 games. With guys like Gordon, KCP, Brown, and Watson all very good defenders. The best defensive teams are physical yet don't excessively foul, and it's got to be a concern that the Celtics rely on this type of thing so much. I know it's just one game on the road, but keep your eye on this as we move towards the playoffs in a few weeks. The key for the Celtics is and always has been Porzingis. He's such a threat from all over the floor, and when Tatum looks like he's going to put his head down and drive, sucking Jokic towards the ball, you don't have to be very accurate on your lobs to a 7'3" guy. With the inside ball screen on the wing, the defense must be on point. They really should just switch this, but instead, 2 go to Tatum, Murray is slow rotating off the corner, and KP lights them up for one of his 3 triples last night. And even if you do switch, like Gordon does here, Tatum can blow by off the dribble. Brown simply should not be helping one pass away here, and it makes for an easy pass to Brown for a wide open shot. When Denver got separation is when the Celtics went away from the KP ball screening, as the shot clock would wind down with hardly any movement and the defense able to load up on the ball until they could force a miss. But then they'd get back on the same page and use it here to get them right back in the game when all seemed lost at this point. And Denver has shown over the 2 games versus the Celtics this year that they're simply a better team. They execute their offense better, particularly down the stretch, and almost always know how to generate the best shot in high-pressure situations. To start the 4th, they run Princeton offense with a handoff into reversal in the ball screen, which catches Tatum several steps behind the play. This allows Murray a runway, opens the pocket pass, and Zeke Naji displays his athletic ability. They cleverly show an inside ball screen from Watson, who then quickly flips it into a step-up screen and catches Tatum out of position, allowing Murray to go behind his back, into the middle, and then calmly hit the open floater from the dotted line. The Nuggets are also experts in picking apart mismatches, forcing Tatum onto Jokic with the pick and roll, and when he spins back into the middle, either Jokic scores or he's waiting for the double off of Gordon's man so he can feed him for the dunk. While the Celtics actually put Jrue Holiday on Jokic on purpose from time to time, he's really no match as Jokic swivels his feet on the catch to win the foot race. Once his left foot is planted even with Holiday's, it's over. And if they want to go ISO, then they're not going to do it with a 10-dribble perimeter attack. They just go to the big fella down low, and if they can coax a miss out of him with some late help, then Aaron Gordon has been consistently there to clean up any messes on aisle 6. Give credit to the Celtics. They are very good and do not give up. Murray gets too caught up trying to initiate contact and doesn't finish the contested floater, and it allows Boston to push the ball down court and get the Nuggets on their heels so their X Factor can get Jokic in space to hit the nice little midi from the elbow off the bounce. But they were also fortunate that Murray had some sphincteritis down the stretch. He never should have taken this shot up 6 with 1:45 to go and 16 on the shot clock, because they get caught in a terrible cross match with Jokic having to guard Jrue, making Jokic look damn awkward as he watches the ball sail up over his head and into the basket. And I think Mike Malone got a little too clever, trying to get away with MPJ on KP to combat the pick and roll. But it left Jokic guarding Holiday, who promptly went to work in the right corner and busted out a good move to hop back into a three-pointer to cut it to 2. And one more uncharacteristic play by Jamal Murray, but give credit to Brown for harassing him to no end until he got the steal. But they screw up getting a layup on a 2-for-1 when Tatum decides to spin on his tough catch. However, it led directly to one of their best shots of the night. It would have been shocking to see the Celtics actually take the lead and potentially steal this one on the road, but Tatum was off all night and the Nuggets just don't get frazzled. They simply wind the clock down knowing they've got the ultimate scoring and passing weapon in the world. And as 2 help defenders run at him and KP meekly tries to take a charge he'll never get, Jokic somehow throws this up to Gordon on the lob, and that was the exclamation point on a pretty good game. But it's also a point of emphasis on where the Celtics are in terms of title contention, which has the Nuggets sitting alone by themselves, looking down on everyone else.